things are getting pretty hairy over here in the far west. I'm having to pull back behind the river here. He's got a pretty substantial force coming in with more on the way. I'm a little worried about my forward advance position here in Jefferson, Missouri, but we'll see how it goes. But what I'm going to try and do, this is my original plan, it's going to be my secondary line of defense. My original line of defense is going to be right here. But now that's kind of fallen through, now it's going to be right here. So what I'd like to do is, between an army stack and then 2 corps, protect this area right in here from St. Louis being my far left flank to my far right flank being up in this area. So we'll see how that goes. I'm running thin on troops though. I don't have the troops that I want for really any of my armies right now. The only army that I'm satisfied with right now is Johnson. So here's Johnson right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to move up corps here, and then my other corps is, so this corps is going right here. Forest is going right here, so I'll have these 2 corps right here under AS Johnston, Albert Sidney Johnston. Then what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to take Hardee once I'm in position and move him up to Boone, Kentucky. That's effectively going to put me between Cincinnati and McClellan. McClellan's got a fairly sizable force. You can see he's got Heinzelman with the 1100 power. But I think put myself in between him and Columbus will put him in a situation where even if he were to attempt a river crossing, he's going to put himself out of position to save Cincinnati. So I'm hoping that that'll work out. In the meantime, I'm going to move Johnson under Johnston's army, J. Johnston, up to here, and then move him forward. So I'll have Johnston here and Hardee here. So that'll be that corps under J. Johnston. And then Albert Sidney Johnston will be over here in Columbus, and then I'll probably push left, or rather north, up into Indianapolis, seize that, but we'll kind of play it by ear. But at least that way I'll have 4 corps, 1, 2, 3, 4-ish, all nice and together, bunched up, so I can kind of figure out what to do next. It does leave my north a little exposed, but as you can see, I've torn up the rail lines pretty effectively, and we've got banks up here, but I've got, a fairly sizable position here to lock down that northernmost area, and so I'm not too worried about him right up in there. I'm trying to move on DC, but the problem is, if you look in here, he's got 4, 5.5, 6. He's almost got like 7,000, 8,000 power here in DC, which is just absolutely insane. And then he's got in there 5,000 right there. There's just no way I can match that. I mean, I've got about 3 here, and then 26 and 20. So I'm going to move Jackson up to this position, hopefully entice him to do battle with me, attack me. But in the meantime, as you can see, I'm moving a whole bunch of stuff here. I pretty much stripped the coast and my internal confederacy with as many troops as I can. I'm bringing them all up to Harper's Ferry. I'm going to create an army under Beauregard up here, and then him and a corps, I'm going to move west. We're going to take Morgantown, and then we're going to move him north and take Pittsburgh. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh, Wheeling, and my base of operations is going to be Pittsburgh and Fayette. So I'm going to have a corps here, an army here, nice position in between 2 rivers. And then, if I can take these, nice, but this is going to be my core area. My hope is that it'll pull troops off of DC to come up and try and do battle with me up here, and then maybe they'll give me the opening I need to attack DC. But nevertheless, I mean, this is a pretty sizable area. I want to say it's a size 7 city. It's got shipyards, depots, everything else. So either way you cut it, it's going to be a big advantage for me for taking that. So shipping, we're moving some ships out to recover, but here's our blockade runners. There were some battles here. So as you can see, that was where? That was David. Okay, I was right there. So that's fine. We weren't. It said Union defeat, but in fact he actually fled and fell back. So, and then Polk. This is where I'm pretty worried. I mean, he's got Grant over here, and a lot of troops coming. So it's gonna be a little hairy over here. He's got Grant under this army. So we'll see. I'm a little worried about holding on there. I might have to shift more troops over this way to put up a more staunch defense. We shall see. But other than that, I don't think anything else is going on. Yep, and then I am building more copperheads over here. So we still have the gold mine here. I'm going to build more copperheads and move her. I'm going to try and take Denver, since it looks like it's unprotected at the moment. The winter months still making it hard to travel over their mud and whatnot, but Copperhead's there. I'm going to try and siege that, see if we can't take it. And then go from there. So also, too, I noticed he's got some troops coming down here. I don't know how large that force is, and I'm not sure what he's up to. And I'm pretty thin down here, so I am shifting some troops this way. It's not a whole lot. To be honest, I probably should take him instead. There, move him over there. And to try and counter whatever's going on over there. Not quite sure what that's all about, so. With that, I'm going to simulate the turn. Oh, and by the way, not spending any money here. And building rail pool. Alright, so we moved forward, took this, we're now besieging it. We only have an 1800 power force, so I'm a little worried that he may attack us, but if he does, so be it. Get DHL with 24, and then Longstreet with 29. We're definitely outnumbered, but I need to do something here to kind of break the stalemate, so we're going to spread him out, hopefully, by moving up here on Pittsburgh. So I'm going to build up a force here, slowly build it up here, and then move that way. I kind of was planning on moving him across the river, tear up this rail line, but actually instead what I'm going to do is I'm move him over here so I can open up the door to Morgantown. I'm bringing Shelby up here to tear up this rail line, so that way I'm going to tear this rail line up all the way down. That way when I do make a move up here, it's going to make it harder for him to react to get down there. Here it's a whole mess, but so what we're doing is we're moving forward on Dearborn, Indiana, so we'll be one step from Cincinnati with this corps. I had wanted to bring Hardee across to support him, but he's getting stronger here. He's now got about the same amount of troops as I do. So I'm going to hold Pat here and then just kind of shadow him if he decides to move up north. My plan is if I do take Cincinnati with Johnson's corps, then I'll come down and we'll do battle with McClellan and hopefully wipe him out. I'm also hoping too, if I take Ohio, he's not going to have much of a supply, so he's going to be kind of forced to either fight me or stay there and starve. We'll see. This guy's going to be kind of a little bit of pain. I'm not sure what he's doing. He might be moving on this nice supply depot here. It's got a lot of supply there. Or he may be moving this way to come across. So I'm going to bring Morgan by river up to here to hopefully slow him down. Bringing Forney's corps back to hit him. As much as I want to keep going forward, I need to take care of this guy in my rear. And then I'm going to hold this supply depot with Breckenridge. As you can see, it's a supply depot. It's a critical spot for us to hold. So Forrest is going to move on Columbus. So he's going to move there. And then moving Johnson. And then just tearing up rail line and whatnot up there. And then over here, we were able to kind of hunker down here. I'm going to probably move this around a little bit more before I proceed with the turn. But we were able to get behind the river. And unfortunately, AP Hill got caught up and got wounded. Not killed, but wounded, thank goodness. He'll be ready in 2 turns. But he did get crossed up with the enemy there. So, and that's about it that's going on there. Let me show you. Yep, there you go. So he had a couple of guys with him and got tracked down and wiped out. Unfortunately, that was pretty big mistake on my part. And then carry 12 money, 7 more supply. We lost national morale because this little battle over here. I'm like, whatever. But my goal here is to establish a defensive line along these 3 regions right here. And then I'm going to have to watch up here too, just to see what he's doing. But I'm going to try and tear up these rail lines to make it harder. So, reinforcement pool, that's everything I'm spending money on this turn. I want to build more troops, but I just don't have the money. And I'm really low here on replacements, so I had to pretty much pour all my money into replacements this turn. And then not do anything on this part. So there you go. We've lost 73,700 troops. We've captured 50,000, which is crazy. He's lost 112,000, so almost twice as many as we have. I'm not sure how many of my guys he's captured, but DC's the target still, obviously. He's got 3,800 victory points. We have 5,400. Gets 44 a turn. We get 60 a turn. Alright. Alright, so there was a battle over here. Good thing we moved troops up here because Milroy was coming across, and we beat him just in time. So first and foremost, let's do Forney's battle. And I'll go back to the other battle I was talking about. So this is Davis. He's got 11,000 troops. We had 14,500. We inflicted a lot more casualties, largely because I think his supply is diminishing quickly. So he didn't have an entrenchment bonus because he was on the move. I gotta imagine he's running low on ammo, but we did well. So let's see here. We had on the battlefield to start 33. It was a pretty quick battle, so I think he was in the move and we just schwacked him pretty hard. So he is down here. He's got a 206 power force, and that's about it. I think because he's almost out of supply. So I'm taking a little bit of a risk. I'm splitting my force here. I'm gonna have Hoke with 481, and it's about, what, 5,200 troops. And then Shelby with another 5,900 troops. And we're going to split them up here. You know, actually, I don't think that's a good idea. It's going to take 10 days to get there, though. So if he's on the move... I'm trying to trap him before he can get away. I mean, his supply is pretty low. Let's just do that. We're going to split here. We're going to do that. And hopefully I can snag him. Now the other battle here. So Polk against Milroy. I had more troops than him, although he was moving into a region that didn't have troops originally. So I think that's why he made the move. He had the river crossing penalties. And see, first hour we just had Trimble and McCulloch under Holmes' corps. And can we see we inflicted some pretty good casualties there, mainly because I think he's coming across the river. And then on hour 2, our moving to the sound of guns, Polk showed up with his troops with Claiborne, and we did pretty effectively there. So again, final results there. We lost 1,500. He lost almost 3,000. He's still in the region though. He's hanging out there, but I feel pretty good about this so far, at least right here. So here's where the dilemma comes into. Okay, so I was able to hold my line here, and I think I'm good on that point. But now he's going all the way around, so that 1,000 power force is now up here, and I think he's going to come down. He's either going to come down or try and go through Chicago and then down and around. Not quite sure what he's doing. So I'm taking Taylor. I'm shifting him north here to reinforce there. I'm moving McCulloch over. I just don't have enough troops of anything, you know? So I just don't... I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold this location. I think I should be able to. It's got a 4 defense, or 4 entrenchment bonus, plus a pretty solid general. It's going to be going up there. And then McCulloch, who's got 5 strategic value for movement. The problem is I can't shift troops off of here to go up there because, you know, I don't have the troops to do it. I still have to watch out for here because I'm not sure. I think so. Lion's got a division of troops back here, so I think we held him off here for now. I'm gonna have to reassess and figure out how to go about defending here. If he does come down, we'll probably play that by ear. Tearing up the rail lines over here. Here's my other problem. So now there's another 839 troops in our banks, plus 219, and then another 234. So about 1,300 power force spread among the two of them. And if you zoom out, you notice I've got a gaping hole here right now because I've got an army right here, an army all the way forward over here in Indiana because I'm moving pretty aggressively over here, and then an army down here in Kentucky that I've moved up a little bit, right? So zooming in here, I've got a corps here, which is about equal to what's over here, but then he's kind of on his own. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually pull back. I hate pulling back, especially when things seem to be going on, but I've got this big force here coming in my rear pretty quick. And things could deteriorate pretty quickly if he makes some gains on some movement down in my rear. So I'm going to hold him here for a turn or so, because he is behind a river. It's a nice defensive area. I'll probably move him back over into Louisville, though. I'm going to move Johnston and Forest Corps back. It's going to take them 21 days, though, so that's problematic. I didn't position myself as well as I should have here. I really probably should have taken up here first, because now going back is going to be a real pain. It wouldn't have been a problem if I'd actually taken this region and gotten military control of it first and rebuilt this rail line system. But instead I got a little over aggressive and moved forward. So it's going to take me longer to get back there. So he's got about a turn to take advantage of some weaknesses here. Now I do have Breckenridge. So he's not, he's not totally weak in terms of my, what I've got here. But so I think I'm going to move forward. Let's tear up this rail line. So there's that. And then I got Morgan here, who I'm going to move forward and use as my flank for my cavalry over here once this threat's been neutralized. But otherwise, my river fleet's doing well. I've pretty much dismantled any kind of competition the Union would pose to me on the river fleet. And I think a lot of that has to do with I pretty much took all the places he could use to build a river fleet. So that's Illinois, Indiana, the West in general. Now over here, got a 2,200 force under Jackson. I'm moving a supply wagon and a pontoon bridge over to Morgantown. I'm moving this force under Smith over to Morgantown, along with the Army of the Potomac, which probably do synchronized movements. Just in case, let's go here. And then I'm moving Wheeler forward. Now I'm also going to be moving Stewart out of the Corps Command, so now I've replaced him with Wharton, who's a 422 commander, who's good cavalry, so I still maintain the cavalry bonus. I don't know why these guys are just hanging out here. I think I meant to move them, and I did not. Or did I not? Let me see, can he not fit in there? No, he cannot fit in there. Okay. So these guys are going to go... east, or west rather. Alright. So here's what I got with DH Hill: 2,200 force, 22, 37, and 3,000. So again, it's not equal to the Union by any means. I've got 11,000 right there on the field. I've got, what, 7 or 8? But I've got better generals. I've got a better defensive position than across the river. So I'm moving an engineer up there to try and help Jackson entrench much quicker. Well, we'll see. I'm leaving a little tiny detachment here in Harper's Ferry just to maintain my entrenchment value. I'm then bringing some partisans on here so I can start ripping up the rail line up in here. I've got Mosby up here ripping up the rail line up here, and hopefully that'll happen. I think he's got a... No, he doesn't have a bonus there. Okay. But we're going to try and rip up the rail line here, and I'm just going to work my way back to right here, because again, I want to bottom myself up right in here. Now, I'm debating this here. Stewart's available for promotion. I don't know who I'm going to piss off if I promote him. Huger. Yeah, whatever. Huger. Careless about Huger. So I may end up promoting him at some point because I am short on 2-star generals, major generals. And I could definitely use another corps up in here. So we're just going to play it by ear, see how it goes. But what I'm going to do is take here and then move on up. Moving on up as we proceed. Now I think, let's see, military control. We're good on that. Can I get over there without combat? I think we can. Yeah, so I actually want to be right here because I want to start getting military control, because I want to take that. What am I going to do here? Do I care about this? I don't really care about that. I'm just trying to find a way to do this quick, because part of the strategy here is to take out this rail area. So I want to take that rail line out, and I would probably do it with him. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So again, I'm going to go here, take out that rail line, maybe get enough military control so I can use this rail line by the time this place is captured. We'll see. And let's do conservative attack. So that's what's going on over here. So again, like, I want to really, obviously DC's my objective, hit him here, but he's just got too many troops, and it would be suicide for me to try and take that on. So let's see if we can get some gains elsewhere, perhaps spread him out a little bit and open up an opportunity to hit DC. Now he is kind of threatening me over here, but that's fine. I got these two from previous plus, seams. So he's going to be hanging out here. I don't know why that's that. Let's do that. And we're evading combat because I really don't want to... these guys are here for blockade purposes. They're not there for combat purposes, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then they're doing good. How about this? These guys back yet? Nope, still rebuilding. Okay. And that's about all that's going on there. I have a ship down here. What do I have a ship here? Oh, ship rebuilding. Okay. And then over here in Arkansas, I'm not sure what this guy's doing, so I parked this guy here just as like a matter of defense. Why? Here, I want to get him, actually. He could help big time over in Virginia. So let me get him here for now. Get him over. He could be very helpful dealing with tearing up rail lines and whatnot. Okay, good. So we're pretty settled there. Going on the offensive here, just going to push him back a little bit. And that is everything with that. As you can see, again, I'm not building a whole lot of units as much as I need to because I need the troops. I really need the troops. It's part of the reason why I'm decided to pull back a little bit because I just don't have the money right now to build more troops. So I've got to pull back my defensive line a little bit, fuse my troops a little bit. So putting some in militia, line infantry, because you can see 209. I'm hurting for reinforcements there. And just the story of the CSA, right? You're always short on supply. You'd think I'd be doing better considering all this territory I've taken, but not really. So again, I think we're going to pull back here, Kentucky. Zooming out. Let me just zoom out here real quick. I've got an army right here that may end up shifting north. So there's Springfield right here. So Springfield, I really want to hold Springfield because it is a strategic objective. But if I can't, I'll be behind this river here. And I can just use this area as Army number 1 under Polk. Johnston will be roaming around here, City Johnson, and then Joe Johnston will be down here. So with that, that's going to conclude this video. Thank you for watching. Next video, you'll see kind of what happened in this mess here. As always, if you found this even remotely interesting, please like the video. It will help other people find the video and the game, which is more important. I actually had someone watching a live stream I was doing yesterday of Crusader Kings 2, a game that is very popular, that I've put in a ton of time on. He'd never heard of it, and now he's interested in playing it. So that's a good example of how these Let's Plays can expose people to games they weren't aware of were out there. And if you have any comments or strategy suggestions, please leave the comments there, and I really appreciate it. So thank you, everybody. Also, finally, if there's something, the way I've been portraying these turn-by-turns that you feel like is lacking, then let me know so I can cover that for you. I know I don't cover the comments down here as much as perhaps other people do. I feel like it's because I've pretty much given you an overlay of everything that happened that turn, even without the messages. So thanks, guys. Take care.